Hello good people, hope you're doing well. Welcome to yet another video. This is our very first sit down, so I'll be looking forward to your feedback as to whether you want us to do more of sit downs or more of behind the scenes. Please let us know and we are going to really appreciate. This is where we talk about finance, personal development, travel, and community service. Of course, if this is your kind of content, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. So in today's video, today is the 27th day of September, and since we are approaching the end of the month, I thought it would be well for us to discuss about monthly budget. How do you allocate your finances? So I'm going to give you a breakdown of how I do mine, or how I would consider an ideal situation. And if this suits your monthly budget, you can adopt it or you can make the requisite adjustments. So the first thing I would consider on my monthly budget is housing. What does housing mean? You either have a mortgage, you pay rent, or you have any other expenses pertaining to the house. If you own the house, then you don't pay rent, and if you don't have a mortgage, then you're free of the expense. But you have other house expenses. For instance, in the earlier days, you could have had a phone in the house, or mostly you decided also to still have a phone in the house because of the kids or the people who are in the house. Then you have electricity bill, you have gas, you have the supplies, which is the shopping, you have water and sewerage, and which comes together with service charge, basically, which may incorporate maybe even the garbage. You have your TV, you have your internet, you have your maintenance and repairs. Maybe I should post the first question at this point. Do you have a budget for repairs at your house? Or do you just find yourself in a situation that you need to fix something and you had not budgeted for it? Comment down below. And if you live in a very modern house, do you encounter this cost, or they tend to be for the houses which are a bit older? Please let us know. Comment down below. The second thing we're going to look at is transportation. Transportation may be in different forms. It could be a vehicle, it could be bus or tax fare, it could be insurance, that is for the vehicle that you're using. It could be licensing. Maybe you do require to pay licenses for different services. Then, of course, a car needs fuel and a car needs maintenance. Comment down below if you have broken down your car expenses or your transport expenses as they fall due. For instance, insurance may be an annual thing, but is it somewhere in your budget? Do you have an annual budget? Actually, comment down below if you have an annual budget. The next thing we're going to talk about, which also partly falls under annual budget and it can still fall under your monthly expenses, it is insurance. Do you have insurance for your home, for your health, and for your life? Or have you even considered taking up insurance? For instance, most people take up insurance because it is compulsory, for instance, for motor vehicle. But in your case, maybe as a family, have you considered having a health insurance? Comment down below if you have another cover other than maybe the motor vehicle and the basic. Do you have a life cover? Or have you ever thought about what would happen to your family, your kids, if you're not there? Comment down below if you have a cover which is over and above the basic insurance covers. The next thing is food. We all have to eat. whichever meals of the day. So, have you allocated a budget which is commensurate to your requirements, or are you a random shopper that, okay, flour is finished, so let's stock up? I don't know what is finished, so let's stock up. Comment down below if you really have a broken down budget of your expenses when it comes to groceries. That is, if someone were to ask you, how much do you spend monthly? 1, on your vegetables, 2, on your cereals, on your dry ingredients, on your fruits, would you quickly answer, or would you have to think about it? Comment down below if you have a budget. And of course, we said, as much as we do save and we do focus, we are conscious of our expenses, we also need to treat ourselves once in a while. So do you have a budget for dine out? For instance, you can say every once a week, every once a month, we're going to eat out. Do you have that budget? Or do you randomly decide, today is Sunday, we're not cooking, let's go out? Comment down below if you have a budget. While still on the food, do you have like an expense for the drinks that you have in the house? Maybe you need to get some juice, some alcohol for the house. Do you have a budget? Comment down below. Then we go to the next expense, which is entertainment. Entertainment you can categorize in different ways. You can talk of videos, DVDs, internet, movies, concerts, sport events, theaters, and others. What kind of entertainment do you have? And is it on your budget? For instance, if you go out every Friday or every twice a month or every other day, is it in your budget? Or do you randomly just wake up and say, you know what? It's time to treat myself. It's time to have some me time, some pampering, Comment down below if you have a budget. The next expense we are going to talk about is medical, or basically let's categorize it as personal care. That is 1. How do you take care of your medical bills? Do you have it sorted? Maybe under insurance, or you even save if you don't feel like you want to pay the insurance. Then you have your hair, you have your nails. Do you have a budget for? How do you plan for it, or do you randomly include it in your budget? The other thing is clothing. Do you shop every month for your clothes? Comment down below if you do. For me, I don't know how often I shop, but it's not usually on my monthly budget. If you do dry cleaning, do you have a budget for it, and do you plan for it? If you have enrolled into a healthy club, for instance, a gym, is it in your budget, or do you randomly say, you know what, let's go to the gym, let's do that, and all those things pertaining to your personal care? Do you have a budget for the makeup, if you're a lady, the budget for your hair, and every single detail that you do on yourself? Comment down below if you know how much you spend on a monthly basis. The next expense we're going to talk about are loans. Most people have loans. It can be a personal loan, it can be a student or a credit card. So if you have any of the loans, do you budget for them, or do you randomly realize that, oh my God, I had to pay for my car loan, I had to pay for my personal loan, I had to pay for my credit card? Is it in your budget? Ensure you have captured all your expenses so that you don't get surprised every month and you're like, oh, I had forgotten about this small loan. This loan does not mean the loan that is structured only. For instance, maybe in the course of the month, you have asked for a friend to save you maybe with 2,000. Is it in your budget to ensure you refund? Remember, it is important to build a good credit record, because if today you ask me for 2,000 shillings, then at the end of the month, instead of paying me, you forget about my money And then the next time you need money is when you, oh, I've just remembered I still owe you 2 Gs, but give me some more 2 Gs. I will not give you. It's a lie because you don't pay. So you have obviously not created a good credit history. If I give you, I know maybe I'll be paid after maybe begging, or maybe I will be paid after I have asked until I'm tired of asking, or I will be paid when you have surplus. Like my money is not in your priority. Please prioritize your debts so that you are credit worthy and someone can always consider giving you some more money if you have a need. The other thing I'm going to talk about is children expenses. Do you apportion expenses for your kids every month? For instance, there is school fees, or do you wait, for instance, when there are 3 terms in a year, do you wait to be surprised at the time the schools are opening? Oh, I'm supposed to be paying school fees, and you totally forgot about it. If you try, I know times are hard, and sometimes you don't even have that extra to save, but you can always try and ensure that you have catered for your kids' school fees in your monthly budget so that you're able to manage the expenses. Because what will happen if you don't plan, when it comes to the month you're paying school fees, you will struggle because your budget will be strained. But if you had split it over a period of time, it would be very helpful because you will not be having the challenges of, oh, it's the last minute, I'm trying to raise the funds, I'm borrowing left, right, and center, and you have that challenge. You can try starting to save early enough before even the kid is going to school so that you have that culture of saving rather than running the last minute to start now the plan for the child's budget. The next thing, of course, if you have a small child, you need diapers. So do you plan for them, or do you consider them as part of your dailies or grocery shopping? The other thing is maybe the child may need a special diet. You need to buy the milk. You need to buy maybe some cereals or something that the kids need. So have you budgeted for it, or do you randomly try to adjust it in your grocery? Maybe it would be important to put it in your budget so that by the time you are planning your budget, you are in a position to know this is the expense for the children. The other thing is salaries and wages. Do you have a nanny? Do you have maybe a laundry person? Do you have a gardener? Do you plan for their salaries? Or when they're here is when you're like, oh, I'm supposed to pay the gardener, or I'm supposed to pay the laundry lady, or I'm delaying salary for the nanny. You know, all those things if you can avoid. The other important expense, which should actually be number 1, is savings. Do you save for your retirement, and do you save for your investments? Your investments could be your retirement package. So you can choose maybe to grow your investments and do maybe a pension plan. For instance, some employers will give you an option of a pension plan. Maybe they say you can pay maybe 5% or 10% or 7%. What do you consider? When they say if you pay 5%, do you just take the bare minimum? Or do you put in mind that, maybe someday I will need more? If you ask me, I would advise you take the top tier. Because remember, when you're getting a pension plan from your employer, they are doubling what you're contributing. For instance, if you contribute 5,000, they will contribute 5,000. So imagine if you're saving for your retirement every month 10,000, and if you had a choice of maybe doing 2%, I don't know whether there's 5%, I mean, not 5,000, 5%. If there's that option of below 5%, don't take the minimum. Take the maximum you can get. So if your employer is giving you a 10%, grab it. Remember, you're saving for your retirement when you will not be strong enough to do what you're doing. And you'll have expenses over your body for wear and tear. Remember, the body is wearing out. So you'll have expenses for your bills, medical bills, and other expenses. Before I leave the savings and the investments part, I want to ask you a question. If you have investments, how often do you review the returns you're getting on your investments? Comment down below if you do. We might have another video on the investments and maybe approaches to investments. So please comment down below if you'd like us to have such a video. The other thing, which I think will be second last, is gifts and donations. Every other day, maybe you have someone from your family or a friend asking for some help, financial, or maybe some friend of yours has lost a loved one and you're contributing. Someone has a wedding or a party or an event and you're contributing. Do you put that in your budget? Or do you just find yourself always surprised? Oh, I don't know who has this occasion this time. Oh, I don't know who has this occasion this time. Comment down below if you plan for your donations. It is very important because we live in a society where we need each other. So you will definitely have to chip in for someone. And the other day or the next time, it will be your party. It will be your wedding. Yeah, so you have to have that in mind, that you will be helping people out there also. The last, and it is not least because it is very important, do you have an emergency fund? If something was to happen right now and you have to rush to the hospital or to rush to help someone who is in the hospital, what is your emergency plan? Do you have some, even maybe 1,000 bob to get you to the hospital, or something is happening at your house and you need to maybe move out for a few days? Check out our video on how to deal with emergencies. I'm going to link it down below, so please check it out. I want to stop at this point because I don't like long videos. I don't want to lose you at some point. So if you have any questions pertaining to the budget or anything you want us to address, please comment down below. Let us know what you want us to talk about. In the meantime, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. I really appreciate your continued support and look forward to your feedback, especially on the sit down. I will be glad to know whether you like it or you want us to continue having other images, you know. Yes, so if you're new to this channel, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for your continued support. We value you and we are grateful for the feedback we are receiving on our travel series, and more will be coming. We have more videos coming up. We have more travel coming up. So keep it here. Remember, Just World is making your finances matter. See you on our next one.